Johnson & Johnson from Abata. Stepping up surveillance as MTTD engages more national service personnel in its traffic management module. And Kenya's government to crack the whip on unvaccinated citizens to bar them from receiving government services. Good evening, it's the news at 7. My name is Clara Nano.
My name is Samuela Korte.
Jonathan Intem Dalcon will interpret the news into sign language.
Now the news in detail. About 4.6 million Ghanaians have so far received at least a single dose of COVID-19 vaccine, whereas 6% of the population are estimated to be fully vaccinated. Despite the low numbers, the head of the expanded program on immunization at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Kwame Amponsah, says Ghana is on course to immunizing at least 20 million of the population.
He disclosed this when the government received some doses of the Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson vaccines from the U.S. and African Vaccine Acquisition Trust, AVAT, respectively in Accra.
Apart from 4 or 5 regions, we have cold chain equipment, the so-called ultra-negative cold chain equipment installed across board. Even for those 5 regions that haven't yet done it, in the next couple of days, they will also complete it. So we transport the vaccines at -20. When you do that, at the receiving end, they can keep it for about 5-6 months. Stock, we have about, it's less than 1 million, mostly of Johnson & Johnson. We also have some quantities, about 500,000 doses of Moderna for the second dose. You recall that recently we did the first dose of Moderna, so those are the ones in stock. The numbers vaccinated, we have about 4.8 million doses delivered. For this, some have received 1 dose, others have received 2 doses. So if you look at those that have received at least a dose, it's about 4.6 million. And almost 1.2 million are fully vaccinated. For now, we haven't had any expired vaccines that you would say you need extra, logistics for disposal. For those few that have expired, we count them as part of the so-called wastage. They are not very many. But we have some vaccines that would be expiring at the end of November. But that is what the regions are doing, using now so that they don't expire.
We're still on health, and the health segment is brought to you by Lufa, Tobingo's premium gift to Africa. And the U.S. Ambassador, Ms. Stephanie Sullivan, is encouraging Ghanaians not to fall for misinformation about the vaccines and go for the jabs. She warned that failure to do so could lead to another mutation of the virus resistant to the vaccines. She spoke to GBC News in Accra in an interview during the delivery of over 1.7 million Pfizer vaccines.
We don't want people to fall victim to the misinformation, because really this is very important for everyone to get vaccinated, to get ahead of a potential new variant that would be resistant to the vaccine, and we would have to start all over again. The other exciting news, as I mentioned in my remarks, Ghanaians 15 and above are now eligible for the vaccine. So we really encourage the 15-year-olds and above to get the vaccinations as well. These vaccines are for people's health around the world, and it's unfortunate in this day and age there's a lot of misinformation around that is counterproductive and dangerous for people. So I think it's very important to trust the science and the data.
The head of the new Allied Surgery and Ear, Nose and Throat Department at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Kenneth Beidu, says the setting up of the cochlear implants facility in Ghana positions the country to offer world-class service to the West African sub-region. Also, providing the ear, nose and throat services in the country will go a long way in making Ghana a tourism hub in Africa and raking foreign exchange into the national kitty. Wadako has more on this report.
The organization states that nearly 60% of hearing loss in children can be prevented. The head of the new Allied Surgery and the Ear, Nose and Throat Department at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Kenneth Beidu, explains further.
In Kolebu, all newborns are screened. Obviously, children go to NICU, those who suffer jaundice, those who have mothers with infections during pregnancy, they have a higher incidence of hearing impairment, especially the jaundice ones. That's why it's important the children's block is hammering on jaundice children, because the consequence of the jaundice is one of them is hearing impairment. We should look after our children well. Most people should try and test the hearing of their children at birth.
Traveling outside the country to seek cochlear implant services will now be a thing of the past in Ghana. The new services at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital is expected to improve treatment options for patients with different ailments, including hearing impairment.
I've seen a few people who they had their surgery in South Africa. It was crowdfunded. You understand? Yes, I was on TV with one lady, and they raised the funds. She had an operation in South Africa, but now the operation is in Ghana. So you realize that the cost will be, cost of travel, cost of stay, all those things will come down.
WHO estimates that unaddressed hearing loss poses an annual global cost of $980 billion. This includes health sector costs, excluding the cost of hearing devices, cost of educational support, loss of productivity, and societal costs. 57% of these costs are attributed to low and middle income countries. For GBC News, Wadako reporting.
And that was the health segment brought to you by Lufat.
Tobingo's premium gift to Africa. We'll be back shortly. Please stay.
The groom is sick.
What?
Malaria.
Malaria?
Electing MMDCs into office has come up again at the launch of a new organization, Coalition of Civil Society Organizations for Local Government Reforms in Ghana. The new civil society organization said electing MMDCs will serve as a major reform in the governance system for democratic consolidation.
In 2019, the government set the motion for reforms in local government and a referendum was subsequently proposed. It, however, suffered a setback when the president called it off for what he termed the lack of consensus from stakeholders. With the conversation still going on the quiet, the issue was re-echoed at the launch of the Coalition of Civil Society Organizations for Local Government Reforms in Ghana. According to the CSO, there was no point in delaying the election of the MMDCs as over 70% of Ghanaians were in support of the move.
As much as we will desire, or some of us will desire, that it be done on a partisan basis, we think that we should first have the elections done, have people into office chosen by the people, and then later on, if we want to, we can add the icing on the cake, which is to make it partisan or not.
The coalition says it admits that election of the MMDCs is not enough to effect the needed change, hence complementary reforms are required to enhance the efficacy of local government regardless of how local officials are selected. The CCSO for Local Government Reforms in Ghana says it will therefore push for the election of MMDCs plus other workable reforms and advocate for the formulation of suitable policies that will ensure viability and good governance at the local level.
Ghana is navigating towards becoming a technology hub in the sub-region and is to set up a technology park. The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, told players at the first Ghana Digital Innovation Week that to build a robust post-pandemic economy requires a strong and vibrant digitization ecosystem to drive it, and the tech park will be pivotal.
Call for a collective action and investment to speed up growth in Ghana's digital innovation ecosystem. The Digital and Innovation Week also celebrates the accomplishments of Ghana's digital innovation ecosystem and builds momentum towards a common vision for its future. Hundreds of developers, innovators, fintech and players in technology and innovation ecosystem are attending the 5-day summit. To them, it is a platform to take Ghana's digitization and innovation to another level. It is a collaborative effort between the governments of Ghana, Israel and Germany. Germany's ambassador to Ghana, Mr. Daniel Krug, called for a strong regulatory framework to help the growing digitization ecosystem in Ghana. Israel's ambassador-designate to Ghana, Shlomi Sofar, said the Israeli government is ever ready to share its expertise with Ghana in the technological space. The managing director of Kigali Innovation City, Ms. Tasi Rusagara, said digitization ecosystem offers great opportunity for Africans to generate employment. The Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Kweku Efriye, said the ministry is gradually putting in place the building blocks to make players reap full benefits from technology. The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, said countries that innovate and digitize are those who are superpowers economically, and Ghana will not lag behind.
Innovation sees no boundaries. But for us to explore its full potential, we must join hands within our local ecosystems and also across innovation ecosystems in Africa and elsewhere to strengthen our foundations and accelerate innovations. And it is because of this that government has taken the decision that we need a technology and innovation park in Ghana. But our vision is to establish Ghana as the tech and innovation hub in West Africa to start with.
Outcomes from the summit will form part of the next stage of the digitization and innovation agenda, which is at the core of Ghana's economic transformation.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has urged chief executives and board chairpersons to improve on their technological capabilities as the world is gradually shifting to digital technology. He noted that improvement on their technological capabilities will facilitate development as it will aid government in its quest to transform the country digitally. Dr. Bawumia was speaking at the closing session of the 4th Chamber of CEOs retreat at Kwewu Nkwetia in the Kwewu East District of the Eastern Region.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, indicated that the CEOs are in the best position to explain government policies to the populace since they have the data on government programs. He urged them to always support the NPP party's communicators to counter propaganda by the main opposition party against government's policies. He called for a more professional and transparent approach to public investment and more efficiency in public service in order to reform public entities to realize the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda.
We have a responsibility to constantly represent the Ghanaian people in a transparent and accountable manner. It is our responsibility to always maximize the value of what has been entrusted to us for the benefit of everybody. I know you will meet this expectation and make the country proud.
The Vice President urged the CEOs to expand their scope of operations for maximum returns and profitability to be able to recruit the youth to ease the unemployment situation in the country.
The challenge is real, and your role in tackling the unemployment quandary cannot be overemphasized. As heads of institutions, if you can expand your scope of operation for maximum returns and profitability to be able to recruit the youth to tackle this heinous joblessness amongst the nation's youths, we will have made significant progress in providing jobs for our youth.
The Director General of the State Interests and Governance Authority, SIGA, Mr. Stephen Asamoah Boateng, spoke about some successes of SIGA and urged the participants to build on it. While announcing his resignation as Director General of the authority to pursue personal interest, he asked them to be dedicated and carry out their functions with fortitude to achieve their aim.
Our draft code of corporate governance is out with the first stakeholder consultation workshop which we held. It's worth noting that the code alone cannot deliver the expected results. The dedication and fortitude of each one of us in this room to carry out their various tasks, responsibilities, and functions with honesty, integrity, and professionalism, following laid down standards stated by the code and all relevant laws and regulations, will generate the intended outcomes and change that will be required in Ghana.
The 4th Chamber of CEOs retreat was on the theme, the strategic role of heads of institutions in transforming specified entities towards the achievement of the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda. It was attended by more than 300 CEOs, their deputies and board chairpersons from across the country.
The Motor Transport and Traffic Department, MTTD, has begun a 3-day orientation program for over 167 national service personnel for the 2021-2022 deployment to the unit under the Urban Traffic Management module. The program at the National Police Training School in Accra is a concept co-managed by the Ghana Police Service and the National Service Scheme with support from the National Insurance Commission.
NSS personnel from various tertiary institutions will assist the Ghana Police to manage vehicular traffic, especially as the Christmas season draws near. The orientation is therefore to give personnel the necessary skills, knowledge and attitude to meet the police service's needs in relation to its objectives. The National Service Scheme says it recognizes that such development is a continuing process for every employee at every level, hence the collaboration with the MTTD with support from the National Insurance Commission to also reduce carnage on our roads with Christmas approaching. At the opening of the orientation, the Director General of the National Police Training School, DCOP Francis Abuaji-Nyako, said the personnel over the years have been helpful.
It is the expectation of the police that this model
will expose the service personnel to police-civilian relationship and instill in them a sense of nationalism in serving this dear country of ours.
The acting head of supervision, NIC, Madame Stella Jonah, said the orientation will center on the basic principles of insurance to properly equip personnel with the needed information.
It is our desire that an interest in insurance as a career would be generated at the end of the 3-day training. And when that happens, the Ghana Insurance College is ever ready to receive you in your pursuit of the professional insurance qualification.
The Executive Director, Ghana National Service Scheme, Mr. Osai Esibe Entry, said the service is almost done with the Job Hub, a scientific app where employees can reach out to people with available skills.
We are also teaming up with Hotvet to offer them skills. We are also going to retrain them.
The urban traffic management module was introduced by the NSS in August 2015 to provide additional support to complement the efforts of the police in managing vehicular traffic in urban centers in Kumasi and Accra.
The founder of All People's Congress, APC, Mr. Hassan Ayarga, has sent a word of caution to the government to slow down on its borrowing and rather ensure that taxes paid by Ghanaians are used efficiently for the benefit of the people. Addressing a cross-section of the media in Accra, the APC founder said with Ghana's current debt at 337 billion cedis, taxation and production is the only way to accelerate the country's economic growth.
Sources to guarantee for loans, and we have not outlined any measures to pay back the loans. The finance minister, Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta, said their government will introduce Youth Start with 1 billion Ghana cedis to create 1 million jobs. It is good to empower the youth of this country, but let's hope that it will not increase our debt stock again, because they have not told us how they intend to create that revenue to spend 1 billion yearly on the youth and start. One of the policies of the APC is create graduate financing fund to support graduates to help start their own businesses and create jobs. But I wish to advise the government to look up to the APC to help them roll out that policy very well, since they have decided to lift it without consulting us. I'm very sad that the one-time economic guru, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, is now running away from economic fundamentals to digitalization. That when the fundamentals are weak, the CD will expose you. Now the fundamentals are weak, and digitalization is exposing us.
Do you know that the Black Star Square, also known as the Independence Square, has an approximate area of 1,057,238 square feet? Do you also know that with this enviable size, the Black Star Square is described as the largest square with its type in Africa? Well, sit back and learn more about this monument, a legacy of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana's first president post-independence, on our Tour Ghana series today.
The Black Star Square, also known as the Independence Square, is a public square in the capital city, Accra. This monument is a legacy of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana's first president post-independence. Bordered by the Accra Sports Stadium and the Sondre Park, the square is currently the site for all civic and military parades in Ghana. In 1957, the late Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah led the Gold Coast, now Ghana, to gain independence from Britain. Dr. Nkrumah became the first Prime Minister and President of Ghana, and to celebrate the country's autonomy, he commissioned the construction of a huge public square.
It coincided with the visit of Queen Elizabeth II. The project was completed in 1961 and was named the Black Star Square. From the first parades in honor of the Queen's visit all the way up to present day, the Black Star Square has hosted all of the country's major national public gatherings, military parades, and recently the funeral services of some statesmen. However, the most important event is the annual Independence Day parade in the square on March 6.
Ghana, we now have freedom. Ghana, land of freedom. Toils of the brave and the sweat.
From the tenure of the late President Jerry John Rawlings through former President J.A. Kufuor, the late President J.E.A. Mills, former President John Mahama, and now President Akufo-Addo, Ghanaians look forward to this day where pupils, students, the security agencies and others partake in a march past to commemorate Ghana's independence. Large stands able to seat 30,000 guests or spectators are on either side of the square. And while these stands and the square itself is packed with people during events, the vast space tends to be all but empty on a typical day, save a few soldiers and a scattering of tourists who come to see the principal monuments that sit on and around the park. These monuments include the Independence Arch to the south of the square, backdropped by the often serene waters of the Gulf of Guinea.
Ghana, we now have freedom. Ghana, land of freedom.
The Independence Arch is guarded by several soldiers who prohibit people from taking close-up pictures of the arch, with the exception of those with official permission, but every tourist or visitor is at liberty to take pictures of the area. On the opposite side of the square but facing the arch is a memorial of the unknown soldier, which honors the Ghanaian soldiers who fell fighting for their country. Just to the north of the main square is a roundabout, in the center of which stands the Black Star Gate, an imposing monument topped by the Black Star of Africa, the five-pointed star that symbolizes Africa in general and Ghana in particular. The monument bears a large inscription, AD 1957, and Freedom and Justice, and the Liberation Day Monument.
It's news are live on GBC News and on GTV. We'll be back shortly. Please stay.
Worthy. Hello, this is Business brought to you by MTN and Whirlpool. My name is Esther Eduhumu. The central bank has increased the policy rate by 100 basis points from 13.5% to 14.5%. This is in an attempt to tame inflation, which has risen consistently from 7.5% in May to 11% in October. In a statement, the central bank noted that rising global inflation, high energy prices and uncertainties surrounding food prices have elevated the risks to inflation. The adjustment comes at a time when the lending rate has declined to an average of 20.3% and the interbank average lending rate at 12.6%. Meanwhile, business confidence as measured by the central bank went up marginally from 93.2% in September to 95.5% in October. Consumer confidence also went up from 91.3 points to 93.9 points. Although reasons for the rise in confidence is not known, enthusiasm around Christmas businesses might have contributed to the rise. On the banking front, non-performing loans went down from 17.3% in August to 16.8% in September and 16.4% in October. Total deposits of the Bulletin Community Bank increased from 27.7 million Ghana cedis in 2019 to 35.2 million Ghana cedis in 2020. This represents an increase of 26.9%. At the 21st annual general meeting of the bank at Sandema, the chairperson of the bank said the strides made by the bank were due to the prudent decisions by management despite the liquidity challenges they faced in the year under review. 4.8 million Ghana cedis of the Bulletin Community Bank got locked up at Gold Coast Fund Management as a result of the banking sector cleanup exercise. This according to the management posed liquidity challenges to the bank in the year under review. At the 21st annual general meeting of the bank at Sandema, the board chairperson of the bank, Mrs. Akangbam Asokia, said despite the liquidity challenges, the bank recorded a stated capital of 1.6 million Ghana cedis at the end of 2020, exceeding the 1 million Ghana cedis set for the rural and community banks by the Bank of Ghana.
Corporate social responsibility remains a key component of the bank's operations. During the year under review, the bank spent 35,191 Ghana cedis on corporate social responsibility in the areas of education, agriculture, healthcare, culture, sports and environment.
The short-term investments of the bank also increased from 12.7 million Ghana cedis to 18 million Ghana cedis, representing 41.08%. Mrs. Asokia said this was due to the innovative products they introduced to rope in the unbanked in their community.
Bank will continue to pursue goals and strategies that will put the bank on the path of sustainable growth, protect depositors' funds, operate within the regulatory limits, and ultimately maximize shareholder value. The bank will also continue to invest more in the productive sector of the local economy and in order to improve upon the livelihoods of our people.
The bank in the year under review had its total assets increased from 36 million Ghana cedis in 2019 to 46.2 million Ghana cedis in 2020, representing 28.52%. The net worth of Buko Bank also shot up to 4.4 million Ghana cedis from 3.6 million Ghana cedis, representing 23.39%. Loans and advances experienced marginal improvement from 16.5 million Ghana cedis to 16.6 million Ghana cedis, representing 0.67%. Let's have the interbank and commodity figures for the day. And that was business brought to you by MTN and Whirlpool. Thanks for watching.
How every city
Hello, good evening and welcome to the Energy segment. I'm Dominic Honoji. The Tema regional branch of the electricity company of Ghana, ECG, is metering all its transformers in the region. The company believes this will help deal with power theft and tampering with the transformers. The Tema regional engineer of the company, Mr. Emmanuel Paul, said this in an interaction with the media in Tema.
Power theft is impacting negatively on its operations. The company has invested about 1 million Ghana cedis in the first half of this year in major projects to improve electricity supply, but the activities of some persons are undermining their efforts to shore up power supply. Mr. Apo said whenever there is a power cut, the company loses millions of Ghana cedis, and so it is not in the interest of the company to cut power supply to customers. He therefore urged the public to help the company deal with power theft and tampering of its transformers in the region, and advised customers to look out for unscrupulous characters parading themselves as ECG officials.
Outages are losses to ECG. So if you lose supply, you make huge losses. The conscience of ECG limits. What we think of, what we drink now is to ensure that the supply is always there for you. So the mindset of ECG is shifting towards the supply of it being there for our customers to enjoy and pay. People have ganged up I see it more as a syndicate where they are pulling down transformers and then stealing copper from the transformer. This is becoming a huge challenge for us.
To prevent power theft, direct connection and unauthorized service connection, the company has introduced smart metering to monitor the amount of power consumed and also trace leakage.
Electrical cable manufacturers want some level of government intervention on electricity tariffs, port charges and interest rates on loans to enable them to sustain their business and be competitive. The Sales and Marketing Director of Nexans Cable Metal, Mr. Michael Bani, said cable importation is a challenge to their operations.
The price on the market as far as imports and local manufacturers are concerned, there's a difference between prices. I think recently there was a publication by the PwC which says that in Europe and elsewhere, interest attract about 80%. And here in Ghana we are facing about 25% or 20% interest rates, and we work with loans as well. So this interest rate that is very high have an impact on us, and that will make our product a bit expensive compared to Europe where interest is about 2%, 3%. Also, if you look at the tariff system, in Europe, domestic electricity users are charged or taxed more than industries. But here in Ghana, it's vice versa. This will all have financial burden on us. So if there's a bit of relax in this tax system, as well as also the post system are concerned, I think it will give us a leverage as far as competition is concerned.
Benin, Togo and Burkina Faso received 4.600 gigawatt hours of power from Ghana in the last 24 hours. Ghana's overall hydro, thermal and solar generation was 60.2071 gigawatt hours within the last 24 hours. Here are some more details.
Energy generated in the past 24 hours, Akosombo recorded 17.8510 gigawatt hours, Bon 2.9930 gigawatt hours, and Bui 6.0145 gigawatt hours. Here's what functional thermal power producers contributed to the generation mix within the period. The 3 hydropower plants produced 26.8585 gigawatt hours. Operational thermal power plants contributed 33.0906 gigawatt hours, and total solar generation was 0.2580 gigawatt hours. Total power generation was 60.2071 gigawatt hours in the last 24 hours. For hydrology, the water level in the Akosombo Lake was 82.640 meters, below the maximum level of 84.73 meters, while the level in the Bui Dam was 180.470 meters, below the maximum elevation of 183 meters in the last 24 hours.
Energy segment, I'm Dominic Honoji.
Oh,